Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom, and this is going to be my physical media update for May and April. I didn't get really enough to do 1 month, so I've kind of combined two. And we're going to start off with a practical but somewhat boring thing, but I think it's worth pointing out. I was speaking to someone about disc rot and I noticed a video where someone said they were getting rust on their steelbooks. So I thought I would be proactive, and I've bought a whole bunch, and I've got some more bags of this. These little silica gel packets that I'm going to put in the kind of like the steelbooks and things like that to kind of really try and mitigate any damage and kind of like dampness, things like that. So just want to point that out. These are available. You can get them. They're quite cheap if anyone wants to try and take care of their bits, you know. Anyway, let's talk about the physical media. We'll start off with the one DVD that I bought, and I actually got this from British Heart Foundation, which is a charity, and this is a TV show, I believe, called Fear Itself, an anthology TV show, and it has this cool, super embossed, like, gravestone, I guess, cover, and it's actually sealed. Now, this is actually an American release, so I'm not quite sure what it was doing in a British charity shop, but I guess I don't know any different. So yeah, it's a fun little thing. It wasn't very expensive. Yeah, and I think it's like a 8-episode anthology, something along the lines of that. So that was quite fun. And it's not only DVD, we've got a VHS in this kind of whole. Now, this is the Evil Dead 2 VHS that was put out by the retailer HMV, and it's an actual VHS. I have some of these kind of like ones that are in VHS packaging, but they're actually Blu-ray. This is actually a VHS of Evil Dead 2 that was put out, and it's limited to 250 copies, and I wasn't going to bother getting it, to be honest, because I thought I can't really be bothered to get a VHS. But I found this one on eBay for the price that it was at retail. And I watched it, and then the guy messaged me with £10 off. So I thought, well, you know, why not? And this is there was two versions. There was this one, and one with like a cover with a picture of Ash on it. This is the slightly the less produced one, if that makes sense. This was limited to 250, and the other one was like, I think to like 500 or something. And this one, the actual VHS like cassette, has got like fake blood splatter on it. Mine's sealed, and I'm going to keep it sealed for the very reason that I'm not actually going to watch this. I don't have a VHS player, but yeah, the actual cassette has got this kind of, you can kind of see a little bit on there, little bit of kind of like fake kind of like blood splatter, but yeah, it's kind of like effectively a collectible. But yeah, so I'll pick that up. So a couple of just Blu-rays and stuff. So the Exorcism tapes. This is I believe a found footage movie. I've only just received this yesterday. Looks like some sort of possession kind of style movie. So there's that one. We've got The Mildew from Planet Zondar, and again, this is one that's only just kind of turned up, and this was from a company called Necrostorm, and I've reviewed a couple of films, and they're like super gory, somewhat playfully, but super gory. They did the Hotel Inferno films, and in this you get a couple of posters, and you get some like art cards, and you also get like a soundtrack. So that'll give you some idea of what you can kind of expect. So yeah, so you get the two discs, and one of them being the actual CD soundtrack. Yet to watch this one. As I say, they somewhat lack in story for the ones that I've seen so far, but it's all about the effects. So we'll check this one out at some point. Then we get this one, Welcome to Hell, which I believe is an Argentinian movie. And this is about a kind of like devil worship and things like this. So yeah, so that's kind of fun. Obviously, and you've got a nice little slipcase there, which is kind of spot glossed and stuff. So again, expect to see a review on that at some point. We've got Island Claws, which is a old school giant crab monster movie. So a fun bit of old-fashioned schlock there. We've got Ilton Pines, which I should say this one was actually sent to me by the filmmaker. There is a review of this one out already. And yeah, it's kind of like a low-budget movie about this kind of creature that turns up at like a Halloween and is effectively like an alien kind of warrior sort of thing. It's very low budget. The review is out on the channel if you want to check it out. I got Vampires and Other Stereotypes, which is a kind of a movie that when it was on VHS, I always wanted to see because that title intrigued me. And this is by the Visual Vengeance, which is the Wild Eye subsidiary. And you've got a couple of stickers on there. You've got posters and things like that. So yeah, I always kind of like, wow. This is before the internet when it was VHS days. And I remember hearing about this, and I always wanted to see it, but I could never find it on VHS. So here it is on Blu-ray. You've got The Mountain Devil, which is a documentary about obviously kind of like Bigfoot and that kind of thing. I think there's 3 documentaries about by the same creator, all about sort of Bigfoot and Sasquatch and things like that. So I'm not a huge documentary filmmaker fan, but yeah, this was relatively cheap, so I thought I'd pick it up. This one, Video Shop Tales of Terror, is a low-budget British anthology movie. Clearly kind of about video shop rental and things like this. This is a limited edition released, 250 produced. So I'll just quickly open it up for you because you get a few goodies in this one. Ooh. It's quite fun. You get, so let me see here. You've got a button badge. You get a video shop membership card, which I think is fantastic. Sticker. That's just a little thank you note. Poster, and there's some postcards in there as well. So I haven't got around to watching this yet, but you can expect to see a review of that at some point. Next up we have He Comes to Kill, which is a kind of low budget slasher movie, very akin to like the Halloween series. It almost feels like it's like a Halloween fan film, to be honest. And once again, this is a signed copy, only 25 copies. This is a burn on demand disc because obviously it's such a low run direct from the filmmaker there. Yeah, but it's not bad, to be honest. If you like your classic Halloween style movie, it's not bad. But this is great. This is one I picked up earlier in April, and The Borderlands is one of my favourite horror movies, and it's one of the kind of like the best examples of found footage movies. And I was thrilled to see that they again have this sort of special edition by Second Sight Films, and I'm quite curious to kind of listen to the commentary on this one actually. So you've got this nice kind of sturdy box and booklet, etc. But it's a great film, very, very atmospheric, genuinely quite an eerie film and quite kind of spooky, and a fantastic ending. So if you're stuck to what to watch, I would highly recommend The Borderlands, sometimes known as Final Prayer if you're from the States. Next up we have The Crow. This is the 4K steelbook from this is the Zavvi one, or at least that's what it was in the UK. I think it's been released by different places internationally. To be honest with you, I've already got The Crow multiple times, including on steelbook, and I don't even have a 4K player. But I really like the design, to be honest with you, on this one. So, and I know Amazon did their own one, but I just like this one with the guy, with his Brandon Lee's like eyes poking through the crow there. So I just thought, I don't know, I like the art so much, I'm going to pick it up. But as I say, I already have it on Blu-ray multiple times. So, a couple of media books. So this one is The Deep House, And this was a found footage movie that all takes place underwater in a house which is completely submerged. And it's a really good movie, actually. I mean, I like it, I think, more than a lot of people. I have some detractors of this, but I think it's another good example of the found footage movie done right. And this one has that extra element where most of it is filmed underwater, which I think it gives it this extra element. There's a few different versions of the artwork. This one is limited to, I don't know if you can see there, 999. There was an artwork that I liked better, to be honest, but that was a lot more expensive, so I just went for this one because it wasn't that different at the end of the day. Next up we have Hundra, and if you're familiar with my channel, you know I kind of like sword and sorcery movies, and this one is one I didn't have on Blu-ray. I had it on DVD. And I think Dark Force put out a version on Blu-ray that, you know, is obviously quite pricey getting it from the UK. So I was really thrilled when they released a media book version, because I've got a lot of fantasy movies on media books. That's kind of not my sort of chosen format, if you like, for fantasy movies now. And it's numbered, I've got number 24 there. This is the original VHS artwork. They did do a few variants, including some newly commissioned artwork, which wasn't bad, but I like the original artwork, to be honest, so I went for that one. Yeah, so that's kind of like an Amazon Warrior sort of style sword and sorcery movie. Now I'm going to show you a couple of bargains. First of all, The Exorcist. This is the Film Arena Black Barons version, and I didn't have The Exorcist on Blu-ray, and I know there's a recent release of The Exorcist, but I always like this cover with the staircase and stuff, but this normally goes for a lot of money. Now, this I found on eBay, and it's limited to 500 copies. I don't know if you can see that. And it's quite a large, you know, you've got obviously the steelbook, the booklet, and some other stuff in there. And I found this on eBay, and it was not described as Black Barons. It wasn't mentioned. They didn't mention the steelbook, Black Barons, Film Arena. It just said Exorcist Director's Cut Blu-ray. So no one else bid on it because it wasn't really described very well. And the person who was selling it had tons of Exorcist stuff, and I got a feeling it's someone who's died, and like the wife is like selling the guys like Exorcist stuff, and therefore didn't really know how to list it. And as such, there was no other bidders but me, so I got it for the opening bid, which was an absolute bargain, and it's all sealed and stuff like that. So, you know, bully for me on that one. And then the other thing, which was a kind of a bit of a bargain, was this, and this is obviously from a company called Ronin Flicks, and this was a movie called Haunt, and I had fancied this particular set a little while ago, but again, it's an American only set, and therefore is a lot of money, considering it almost cost double to get it shipped to the UK. And it's kind of like a scare park movie that I quite enjoyed. There's a review of it some time ago. So you get this nice little slipcover, and obviously you've got the exclusive artwork in the actual case itself. Got the soundtrack in it as well. It comes in this, like, obviously this nice box. And again, this one was on auction. And I had never seen it like being sold in the UK before. So I bid on it, and no one else really bid on it. I think it was like one or two bids, but it went for about £10, which is awesome. So you've got like a fridge magnet, you get a bunch of like enamel pins, which is fun, and then you get a couple of posters which include like a map of the grounds and the artwork and things like that. So that was a real like little coup. So a couple of like real bargains that I snapped up for very little money, considering in the UK especially, they go for quite some hefty prices there. So that is my pickups for April and May. So what do you think? Any kind of like additions there that you take your fancy? Please do let me know what your thoughts are on any of these films, and I shall look forward to you next time. Bye for now.